Get ready for a beautiful journey. It's Friends Day Fridays on Tea Time with Afternoon Social. We're steeping tales of fun stuff from adventure stories to tips and advice, one cup at a time. So grab your favorite tea, snuggle into your coziest nook, and join our terrific party. Good afternoon, and welcome back to Tea Time with Afternoon Social. I'm Theresa Lauderback, your host, and this is Friends Day Fridays. Yes, we had such a fabulous guest yesterday. We talked with Anna Zugheri, who's back again today. If you didn't see her video yesterday, go back and check that out. It was a great information about how she started her business and how faith can work in your life. And today we're going to talk to us more about learning some of life's lessons and what some of our tips and advice you might have to promote growth in your personal life. So thank you for joining us again today, Anna. How are you?
Hi, thank you again for having me. It's such a privilege. Thank you. That you were so brave to have me back.
We have you all weekend or weekend actually, 3-day
Right. Yeah, I know. I love it. Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me to talk about this topic, which it's challenging. I call them challenging blessings. Right.
What's one of the biggest lessons that you've learned? We've been talking a little bit off camera too about how things have changed for you in the last 3 years since the pandemic. So maybe share some of those lessons that you've learned recently and how that can actually help some other women.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So yeah, I especially last year, I think. So, if you've been living under a rock, there has been a world pandemic, and that it affects all of us in one way or another. And I thought that was, I think I got cocky during the exact year of the pandemic, and I'm like, oh, I'm good. I have food, I have toilet paper, I have all the things that I need. My family's good. And I thought I was fine. And then that was 2019. In 2021, we moved out here to the outskirts of Houston, and I'm still thinking like, oh, we're fine, and we're all at home. And I don't know. I think that I've been married for 17 years. And I've had my daughters all my life, right? So you think you know someone. But I think that time to slow down things got me to really analyze the way that I am, that I behave, that I communicate with my family, and not just with them, but with everybody else. And that kind of brought me to a point of like, what am I doing? I don't want to say it was a midlife crisis, but it was pretty hard. As I mentioned yesterday, I did a radical change between doing children's ministry to this ministry that I do online and that I love now. But just trying to accept and adapt that I was no longer a children's ministry, I felt that there was a lot of my identity attached to that. Because I felt that I worked so hard to get my certifications. I had like 5 certifications, and I was taking trainings all the time. And I just loved children ministry, love it, because I still teach children every other Sunday at my church. But it's not entirely as I was doing it. And I felt that, there was a big part of my identity in there. And also, I was kind of hiding some things that I didn't even know that were hiding there. So with all that, a lot of emotional burden started happening, and this little with my husband and blaming, and it just got really, really ugly. For all of us. Yes, it was very, very challenging. 2021, that's when everything started, and I was actually starting. I already had my podcast for a while, but I was starting to do live stream. And when you do show your camera, and one of the tips that I give people that want to do this is that you have to amp up your energy when you're on camera and do a little bit of movement, because the camera, it saps your energy, right? So then I was like, okay, maybe this is not like me. Maybe I'm faking who I am on camera, on my live streaming, and started getting more convicted. And even though I was doing Bible studies online, I was like, there's something not working right here. And obviously my husband noticed it too. And we decided to take therapy, which it was in our culture, in our times, it was a big no, kind of like a shame kind of thing. Like, oh, you're taking therapy. It's like, you're cuckoo. or there must be something really wrong with you. As far as, taking therapy is big taboo. And even until this day, my mother and my brothers, they don't get it. They don't get why therapy now, to me, it's God sent. But
raised in Mexico, so
right.
they're probably more traditional.
Exactly. It's like, oh yeah, and you don't tell anyone. You don't tell anybody that you're doing that, because that's not, cool. So yeah, it took a lot. I've been in therapy for a year and a half now. Individual and couples. That's how bad. So accepting that I needed help was a huge deal. It was a huge deal, because like I said, I thought everything's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But you don't understand. You don't know that you're doing something wrong, because it's so innate in you that you see it as normal. And I'm like, I'm a good person. Like, I don't kill, I don't steal, I don't rob anybody. I'm a good person. Right. But once that you understand those behaviors and those packages that you're carrying, and you're being like, I picture myself like this, having my imaginary backpack and turning around and hitting everybody behind me without noticing. That's pretty much how it felt. So 2022, I want to say it was a good, hard year for me, for our family. But for me particularly, because as therapy kept going on, I started discovering a lot more things about myself that I didn't like, that I didn't know they were there. And that the things that I supposed to, empower, and I wasn't. So that was the big challenge, the big challenge.
Yeah. And we were talking about transformation, so that therapy probably really helped you grow and transform into what you're doing now.
Absolutely, yes. And just understanding even the parts of my brain, how they work, and the chemicals. Sometimes we blame it on, well, my kid is exasperating me, and that's why things are going this way. But a lot of it has to do with your health, not exercising, not drinking enough water. It's the chemical balances in your brain that can cause certain behaviors. And I didn't know that, like the intoxication of cortisol. Cortisol is the bad chemical in your head that when you it's not bad because we need it. God put it there for something, it can help you with the fight, flight action that you have to take, but you can contaminate your entire body with that chemical. And knowing how to lower it down, how to recognize it, how to recognize that you're getting stressed, how to, all of those things have been transformational. That have been very helpful. Understanding my personality, my temperament, my gifts and talents, it has been tremendously, like a complete turnaround. Our household it's a lot more peaceful. I've never thought that I would experience something like this. It's been beautiful.
Well, that's fantastic. You mentioned gifts and talents, and I think that's one of the reasons we don't thrive is because we don't recognize what those are, and we don't live and work in them because, like I said, they're God-given, and so that means we're not walking with God because we're not doing what He gave us to work with.
Absolutely. Yes, and He gave you those talents. He put them there for you to give Him all the glory. There is a Bible story that says that the boss came and gave the talents to 3 different guys, and one multiplied it and the other one multiplied a little bit more, and the other one went and buried it because he didn't want to lose the talent. But when the boss came back and like, hey, where's my what is it called? ROI? Return of investment. And he was like, well, I didn't want to lose it, so I buried it. And that was a bad thing because there was not production out of it, right? So when we discover that we're good at some things, like for me, I love to talk, if you haven't noticed. I love to talk, but the example that I have it more visually here, it's with my family. They will tell me, Mom, like, you're not listening. Mom, you're not listening. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm listening to you. And they would be like, no, you just talk, but you don't listen to what I'm saying to you. And now learning active listening and learning that I need to talk, but not to overpower the conversation, but listen to what people are telling me and take my time and digest and respond and not react. That has been life-changing.
Yeah, I know what you mean about having to slow down and just sit back, because my oldest is high-functioning autistic, and you really have to give them space, and that really taught me with other people to give them their space, let them do their talking, and let them really hear what they're trying to say. Sometimes they can't get it out, and they don't know what they're doing.
Exactly.
They don't even understand what's going on with themselves.
Exactly.
But that all leads to that ministry that you're developing, that helping women to pull that out of themselves.
Yes. I think that through my experiences, that's what the ministry is going towards, to tell others about how good can it get, because when you're living a life of like go, and even though you love to talk and you love to take things up on yourself and like, I can do all these things, and you're busy all the time, and you're neglecting the opportunities that God is giving you to actually do His thing and not yours, because His thing is a lot better than yours.
And that's probably the biggest life lesson we constantly have to remind ourselves and learn every day that He is
He's the big one. So, well, I think we're short on our time here, and I'm glad you shared all that with us today. And Anna will be back again tomorrow, and we're going to hear about her business, more details about her business and her podcast and what else she does as a consultant. And thank you again for being here on Friends Day Fridays, and we will see you tomorrow, Anna.
All right, great. Thank you so much. I'll be here.